Hey guys, this is Joe. Today I want to introduce you to our partner Vanta. Achieving ISO 27001 or SOC 2 compliance can unlock major growth for your company and build customer trust, but the process can be time intense and costly. Vanta automates compliance, getting your audit ready quickly and saving up to 85% of associated costs. And Vanta scales with your business, helping you enter new markets. Join 7,000 global companies like Atlassian, Flow Health, and Quora that trust Vanta. Claim 20% off Vanta at vanta.com/startupradio. That's vanta.com, spelled vanta.com/startupradio.
Welcome to Startuprad.io, your podcast and YouTube blog covering the German startup scene with news, interviews, and live events.
Hello and welcome everybody. This is Joe from Startuprad.io, your startup podcast and YouTube blog from Germany, as well as the world's first internet radio station dedicated to startups and tech companies. Today I have a special episode for you. Since FIFA 22 is going to be released shortly before this interview is going live, I thought it would be a great idea to talk to someone about the German gaming market, or games market, or esports market. We will totally get the right pronunciation from somebody who is called in San Diego Walter. Hey Philipp, how you doing?
I'm really good. Thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to the talk.
That was already an inside joke, but we will get to that. First, I think we should nail down a little bit the numbers. We're basically talking about esports, meaning playing sports simulations on whatever device, plus the usual gaming market. That is our topic of today in Germany and the German-speaking area. But you're a real insider there, aren't you?
I guess I hope so. I'm working my way into the scene. Germany is a pretty established scene in that regard, with a few dinosaurs out there who lead the way since 20 years. And I joined it from the more casual gaming angle. So let's just few terminologies, if that's fine. You know, you got the casual gaming part, which is the majority of people who love basically gaming. But then you got the professional side, which is esports. So that's a differentiation from the terminologies. Gaming is the casual part, and then you got esports making money with that and going into professional. That's part of it. And yeah, it's a big market and growing as fast, similar as in other countries out there. And it's a billion industry. There's some rumors about the exact numbers. So looking forward to the talk of the potential of that market.
That is actually why we're talking about it here, because when I saw your agency reaching out to me, I realized that this is a 8.5 billion euro market. For the Americans out there, that's almost 10 billion, something like 9.96 billion US dollars in 2020. And it's staggering because it has been growing 27% in 2020. Which is quite amazing. Do you think the corona and the lockdowns did play a big role in there?
Yeah, absolutely, Joe. I mean, CAGR, first of all, the number, and then my point of view, if that's okay. From a CAGR, so the growth rates, I mean, what's out there growing that fast, right? Maybe electric mobility or some other crazy or very innovative sectors. But other than that, I'm not aware of any double-digit growth in the 20 plus CAGR a year. So that's pretty impressive, I'd say. Knowing the normal sports industry well, everything a single digit is already a good thing. And the second part, yeah, absolutely. This is the Corona effect. We don't need to neglect it. That's part of it. And I think this is 1.5 years ago, right, when it started. And that was pretty much a dynamic which wasn't planned, even in the numbers from all the smart people out there. But there was a dynamic based on Corona. You're not able to leave the house, and then you obviously spend time on Twitch, YouTube, and obviously in any kind of gaming device you have, or even you bought new devices. For sure, Corona was a big lever into this.
Structure. What are we looking at here in terms of structure? How is the German gaming market structured? Is it like the big population centers like Hamburg, Berlin, Cologne, Frankfurt, Munich? They are also like the big gaming hubs, or is it completely different and people are spread all over where they have decent internet connection?
I would say definitely the main aspect of part of that answer is obviously where's the best internet connection. Funny angle here. Yeah. That's the case because gaming happens anywhere. Yeah, you just need solid internet connection, and that's pretty much it. Obviously, there's a density of population in the major cities like Berlin and Hamburg, Frankfurt, Munich, and Cologne area. Another indicator where you see recently really big projects in that space being in Berlin with a Level or Arcadia in Hamburg, which pretty much is a real estate project into gaming. Let's call it the KaDeWe or the Best Buy only for gaming, Cologne, the Experion. So I would say there's indicators from the end consumer, right, where they have good access to network, to console, to peers. But then there's obviously real estate projects, I would say, for media connections then into the space, as I just mentioned, in a few major cities. So I would say that that's a split, yeah.
And as we've already settled, before we even started, of course, there are a lot of big gaming going on in student dorms with decent internet connection.
Absolutely.
Just to throw in, because this is the authority on German startups, a few well-known German game developer names, mostly their games, the Anno series, the Settlers, Crytek with the 3D engine used in Crysis and Hunt. They actually count Amazon amongst their investors. And we just shared a few weeks ago that Tencent, the Chinese tech giant, is reportedly interested in outright buying this, as well as the game Star Citizen should ring a bell with the people with some gaming experience here around. Is there anything important I've forgotten in terms of popular games?
That's a good one. So obviously Munich is starting to launch a few small startups who are game developers. So unknown, so the names won't ring a bell, but we see tendencies of in Munich and Berlin. Some of them are coming up because obviously there's a business potential. The demand for mobile games is establishing even more. Also here, I would say there is some learning effects from the history of German game developers, but also now startups going into this space. But I think more to hear in that area. I would say it's coming, but the bell will ring next time. Yeah.
Now we got the boring stuff out of the way. Talking about popular games, for me, gaming actually started with a very early, when you had the big bulky TVs, and it started with an Atari gaming system where you have this ping pong game like on the black screen. But real gaming started for me with buying Dune for my Amiga computer, Dune 2, the first real-time strategy game. Really addicted to Civilization. Admittedly, I don't get too often to play. I just realized between one session and another session in Civilization, because you always see it in my service, when you last played was once 10 months where I didn't get to do any gaming at all. And of course, in the past, StarCraft. So what's your favorite? What's popular with you?
I mean, obviously the ping pong one. We also had the similar start there. I also recall situations where I kind of stole access or got access to my father's PC, which was pretty fancy back then. We didn't have any console yet. It was a PC for work, and tried to get in the computer worked out somehow. All looked a little bit differently. But there was California games. I was always sports addicted or an athlete myself, football, field hockey, runner, skiing. And that was California games. This was a starting point into casual gaming. But my real, I would say, addiction to the scene came during study with Counter-Strike. So there was pretty much the first month of Counter-Strike, 2000, I'd say, when it started during my studies. And that was basically my real gaming starting point, which is in a great memory, I have to say, 20 years. So,
I remember vividly gaming at the times of Counter-Strike, where you had physically to get all the people in one room and then connecting them with the coaxial cables. You remember them?
Yes.
And I almost lost my joy in gaming when I was there with a lot of heavy Counter-Strike players. And I think in half an hour I died something like 27 times. So not a game for me.
Yeah, but what you said, Joe, is the kind of the retro perspective on that time. I recall the exact table setting in our dorm where we were playing 4-on-4. Obviously, we kind of built our own arena in the big kitchen area, and everybody brought the big PCs. And yes, we ate pizza and drank Coke, and some were really, really good, some weren't. And I loved the team aspect of it. We all had our favorite maps where we basically then played. I loved it, from Aztec on Italy, but also Ice. There was some were more the snipers. So I recall this whole, almost visually what was it back then during studies. So great memories.
I see. For me, it was then more fun to look over the shoulders of the more experienced players, and ego shooters have never been my thing, as well as like sports simulations. I don't know why. For whatever reason, talking about sports simulations, we gathered here today due to the release of FIFA 22. Can you tell us a little bit about this game and what you guys, like with your company, are actually doing there?
Sure. I mean, as you said, FIFA is a sports simulation by EA, the publisher, and once a year a new FIFA game is coming. We can discuss all the pros and cons of these major releases once a year and about the publisher-gamer relationship. But I don't like criticizing or what's not so good. I really like the opportunity to engage with a new game, with the fascination of how football or soccer, so the soccer aspect in real, but also the sports or digital part.
Don't worry, we German-based podcast. You can totally use football for all the Americans. That's a real football.
All right, real football. So the one with the black and white ball. Yeah. How it started once a year. It's FIFA. What I like about it, obviously, it's not that esports heavy or savvy yet, right? So there's a big discussion, but it's for everybody. You connect to the players. It's fun to win or lose and get better, right? And this is what we saw of the 30 million FIFA players out there. 7 million are in the weekend league, which is a weekly amateur digital league per continent, and you pretty much try to win out of the 30 games, which was it last year. Let's see what's this year. You try to win as much games as possible, and then potentially winning tournaments or becoming pro. That's the FIFA 22 or FIFA in general. It's launching October 1. So this is basically the timing, always this Q4 timing. And and the days up to this launch, there's also creators teasing the game, testing it, playing it. Yeah, and what we do, we train FIFA gamers right now. So we have a coaching platform where we bring coaches from all over the world together and pretty much train the mental side of FIFA, the strategic side, the skill move part, the player trading part, to connect actually to world champions. At Gamers Academy, it's like a Freeletics or Runtastic for gaming, and you connect to the best gamers in the scene, and then learn from them and really get better and make your way up to pro.
As you said, it's basically the same as Freeletics, a Munich-based app that helps you train, and it's really exhausting. My first thought, you also give the guys those great apps.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, you see when we talk about where this is in 5 years, yeah, the whole industry, it becomes more professional. It comes from, like in football and other sports. At some point, it's not enough to be really good in game. It is about what happens before the game, after the game. It's about nutrition. It's about mental strength. It's about physical conditions. The more and more the game or the esports era will grow into this is another discussion for some other people to have. Is it sports or not? We don't give a shit, actually. Sorry for the words. It becomes more and more about winning or losing, being professional about it. And this is, you don't get the apps, but you get some mental, some physical, and some in-game skills from our training programs that you actually can become better, right? And at the end, you unlock your full potential. You can actually be far better than you might have actually think you could. And that's kind of our promise to our users. And we love it to actually, teach them. You could call it education tech. You could call it gaming, training tech, whatever. We just love to make people better.
And just to be clear, that also involves all the stuff, like total professional gamer. They have retreats where they get fit. They do physical workout. They look for the nutrition. And sorry, just to poke you here a little bit, a good gamer nutrition is not a can of soda and an ordered pizza, right?
Sometimes it could be, right? Like we all need our junk food once in a while and our cheat days, it's called. But no, obviously not. But what we like about the evolution of it. We are a young company believing in all the different aspects we just talked about, make you a better gamer, at the end a better person. We actually believe this is a responsible part of where this is going, but let's do it step by step. Right now we do in-game coaching and in-game improvement, while we also use the top players of the world, the FIFA world champions, the coaches, or Mike LaBelle in the US, he's the official EA FIFA face and analyst, right? So we use them to inspire, but also to coach. And the more we progress over the next months and years, we then tackle every aspect of what makes you a better person through gaming.
So, what would also spark my mind was when you talked about analysts. Of course, there will be all the stuff you have in pro football leagues. Admittedly, I was poking fun of football, but I'm an NFL fan. I watch Sunday evening here in Germany with friends, and there's a lot of analysts. There's a lot of podcasts. There's a lot of media out there. Is it the same for esports in Germany as well? And would you know, like an English only podcast, YouTube blog talking about the German esports scene?
I mean, to the first part, it is getting there for sure. So we look into, we've created a software which is basically analyzing a few things on their own. And then our coaches get the software to actually, see certain things you could improve in your gameplay. So you submit gameplay, just a 5 minutes, scene. That's okay. And from that, we can already automatically, but also with human support, we can actually tell you after we analyzed it, what you could be doing better. And the whole demand for podcasts in general, which that's what we love about your podcast, right? So you go into areas and bring the knowledge further where no boundaries existing. I mean, we all the English German part. This is not about boundaries. I think we inspire across boundaries, across industries. That's the whole learning part and self improvement through knowledge is just amazing. So there's a big demand for podcasts in this space. What happens in German esports scene in English, then, but vice versa also, right? So I listen to certain podcasts which are focused on US esports and gaming scene, and vice versa. So I believe no boundaries again here, and the language. We'll apologize for my Dinglish sometimes, or my English with a German accent. I'm aware since my time back then in San Diego. So greetings to my friends back there, but there's no boundary, and there's definitely a need for cross boundaries podcast. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I see. That's also what I'm trying here with startups, but admittedly more tailored towards a B2B audience than actually the usual gamer out there, the serious gamer. So basically, I have one more hint. Your Gamers Academy, when it's ever like physical present gamers with all the nutrition, all the workouts, you may become very popular if you have a very good massage therapist.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, we need to work on this. But Joe, on the side, a note in terms of B2B, right? So this is what we also experience a lot over the last months, that we work with great brands and partners, but also sports teams to bring this coaching training aspect to life. Yeah? I mean, brands are more than welcome, and we proudly having great partners, not one-off. And selling our solid reach. So we organically have grown into a 1 million community on social media, meaning TikTok, Instagram, Twitch. But there's a way how you embed endemics or even the non-endemics properly into, let's say, the self-betterment planning. Yeah, how do people train? And there's a big space at Gamers Academy for brands. And looking forward, whoever's interested in to a dialogue. And thanks to the partners so far we're having.
I've seen here on another platform, there's a advertisement network for esports. There's a few names people should recognize here as sponsoring single or multiple esports events, locations or whatever. Amongst them is Adidas, Amazon, Audi, Coca-Cola, my favorite, Dr. Pepper, Gerolsteiner, which is a German bottled water brand, McDonald's, Media Market, it's a German electronics retailer, Otto, PepsiCo, Puma, Red Bull, Samsung, Sony, Telefonica, Visa, and Wüstenrot, which is a mixed financial services conglomerate here in Germany, but one of the bigger ones. So it's a lot of very interesting brands. What do you think they are getting from this exposure in esports, the sponsors?
I mean, after you just listed, or it was pretty much, I'd say a snapshot, but there was a who's who of at least the German landscape of industries, of brands. And I truly believe, as I worked at Adidas and was lucky or grateful enough to start Under Armour, a very successful American sports brand, which has worked the way into the European or German market. So I come from some brands, and they all seek for the connection to a younger audience. So I believe the gaming esports part belongs to any marketing mix you're having as a retailer, as a sports brand. And that's what, first of all, you get out of it. Yeah. You get a true, actually ongoing, meaning through social media, a very engaging connection to your audience, 15 to 25-ish. Yeah. A little bit more male than female, depends on console versus mobile. So PC and console is a little bit more male oriented, but the whole mobile gaming, which our neighbors or the industry veterans here, the ESL, out of Cologne, they're actually tapping into mobile gaming. So this is what you get out of it. You get an engaging, young audience connection. Let's call it the marketing, your marketing mix extension. And you actually get a lot of bang for your buck. Imagine what you would invest in some other more traditional sports just to be somewhere on the sleeve of a second division football team. You might just want to work with a few gaming creators or gaming platforms like us or some others out there. This is great, I would say, early stage to get your media mix extended into this. Yeah.
For everybody who'd like to learn more, we'll link down here in the show notes your personal LinkedIn profile as well as your company, Gamers Academy, which is, I do believe, headquartered in Munich, but also has a presence in Berlin. And of course, I'd like to welcome you back. And do you have any forecasts for FIFA 22? How big is it going to be? Is it going to be awesome? What do you think?
definitely going to be awesome. I mean, this is the upside of the downside, right? So the downside is a little bit seasonality. Yeah, FIFA has a seasonality aspect, which means over the last 2-3 months, obviously the old game, the FIFA 21, was pretty much slowing down. There was summer break, so the whole COVID part was allowing us to go out again and travel. But now it's kind of like Easter and Christmas all together, early October, and that's what we love about it. Just the excitement for something new, for something coming up. So we all addicts of the game. We all have, as I said earlier, my second game is Counter-Strike, but we all have the hypes already. The hype is what we feel. So it's got to be awesome. I don't care about the numbers, which might validate or not. It's just an emotional stage of how we feel about it. It's got to be awesome. It's a quarter ahead of us, at least towards Christmas, where we hunt PS5s, where we hunt the game. We look for our users to actually make it better, and daily Twitch streams and TikTok live. So that's where we look forward. So yes, it's got to be awesome.
Great. Thank you very much for being such a great guest, and looking forward to speak to you maybe for the release of the next FIFA game.
Look forward to it. Thanks for having me.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That's all, folks. Find more news, streams, events, and interviews at www.startuprad.io. Remember, sharing is caring.